You're watching ABC 7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Thanks for joining us on this Monday for ABC 7 News at 4. A lot of folks around town look a little tired this day as a result of the heavy storms that moved through during the early morning hours around 4 to 6 a.m., especially in Manatee County. Not much in Sarasota County, and those storms produced a lot of heavy wind and heavy rain for a short period of time. It's all associated with this unusual pattern, a low pressure cutoff low kind of spinning around the southeast, and you'll see we'll have several little areas of low pressure out in the Gulf of Mexico that will kind of sweep on through periodically over the next 36 to 48 hours, and we could see some more big storms overnight in the early morning hours. I know I got up at around 5 a.m. as a result of intense lightning and thunder that was occurring. Nothing going on now. All is pretty quiet. There's a little activity up near Inverness in the top part of your screen there, but we're going to see storms developing here in the Gulf, I think, later on tonight, and some of those could turn rather strong after midnight. Now, the big picture shows this upper level low spinning off toward the west. Look at all these storm reports last night as a result of the outflow boundary from those huge storms over North Florida yesterday. All those little rectangles you see with icons inside them are the storm reports that occurred all the way down into Manatee County. Notice it kind of stops there in Sarasota County right around 5 o'clock. Notice, too, that not much rain fell from Venice and Englewood all the way up to Sarasota. Some folks not getting much rain at all with the heavier storms, obviously, into Braden. And here's a look now, again, at what we're seeing for the forecast for us through the evening. You'll see scattered showers and storms moving onshore during the early morning hours. And again, looks like we'll see another round tomorrow afternoon. Well, much more in our forecast coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline, Adam, back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. We start tonight with some breaking news in Sarasota County. Right now, ABC 7's Rick Adams is pulling up to Lido Beach, where paramedics are working to help multiple people. Here's what we know so far. A spokesperson for Sarasota County Fire tells us that 3 people were pulled from the water at the beach off Ben Franklin Drive, a 10-year-old boy, a 40-year-old man, and a 40-year-old woman. We do not know yet how those 3 people are doing, but Bay Flight has been called to the area. Again, we have a crew on that beach, and we will bring you any updates as we get them into the newsroom. In other news, a suspected murderer is on the run after a fatal shooting in Bradenton over the weekend.
It all happened behind a shopping center on Cortez Road East on Sunday. That's where we find ABC 7's Erica Jackson, who has been following this case since the very beginning. Erica, what new details have you learned?
Jacqueline, Adam, good evening. We caught up with Manatee County deputies this morning. They tell us they do not believe this shooting was random. They say they're still searching for an official motive, but they're not ruling out the possibility of this being drug related. They say they also believe the suspected shooter is still in the area. Deputies are actively searching for Joe Clergesti. He's wanted for murder in connection to Sunday's double homicide behind this shopping plaza. The sheriff's office says one of the victims was found dead here at the scene, and another was pronounced dead at Manatee Memorial Hospital. Deputies also revealed today there's a 4th person involved in this case who they are now calling a witness. A friend of one of the victims tells us they just want answers.
You'll never be able to understand why it happened. You won't be able to ask what was going on in the situation.
Now, coming up tonight on ABC 7 News at 6, we'll explain how several people involved in this case do have a criminal history. Reporting live in Manatee County, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you very much, Erica. And new at 4, we are working on getting information on an animal cruelty case here on the Suncoast. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is investigating. We do want to mention some viewers may find these pictures disturbing. Elaine Wells is facing multiple animal cruelty charges after deputies say they removed dozens of neglected animals from her home. Animal Services found 34 exotic birds flying around the home. They say several of those birds were underweight and suffering signs of self-mutilation and did not have access to food or water. Happening now, an investigation into a major industrial fire overnight at Port Manatee in Palmetto. It happened inside a massive biodiesel tank. Fire officials say 60,000 gallons of palm oil was smoking when they arrived on scene. About 40 firefighters were working to extinguish those flames in the tank. Thankfully, no one was hurt. There is still no word on what caused that blaze. Storms were the cause of more damage in Palmetto. Early morning storms especially damaging for the Coach House Mobile Home Park off 28th Avenue East. Wind gusts left a trail of scattered debris, curling some siding on a few of those homes, damaging a couple roofs, even twisting a street sign and snapping a power pole. The owner recently replaced the now damaged roof on the maintenance building at the park. Luckily, no one was hurt, but at the height of this morning's storms, some 800 people on the Suncoast did lose power. New at 4, we know at least one person is hurt after police say a 12-story building collapsed in Miami Beach. Demolition was going on, but it's not clear why the structure collapsed. Police say there was a demolition permit on file for that building, but not an implosion permit. The building was scheduled for demolition to make way for a new 19-story tower on the beachfront property. The person who was hurt was taken to a local hospital with no information on their condition at that time. Now let's head over to Jacqueline with a case that's testing the Stand Your Ground law. Jacqueline?
Adam, it's an argument that started over a parking spot and then escalated to a deadly shooting in Clearwater. This is surveillance video of the fight that ended with an unarmed father of 3 killed. Pinellas County Sheriff's Office not charging the gunman, calling it an example of the state's contentious so-called Stand Your Ground law.
I just want justice. I need something to be done because this is not right.
Brittany Jacobs was sitting in her boyfriend's car when she says Michael Draka told her she illegally parked in a handicap spot. Her boyfriend, Marcus McLaughlin, had gone into the store to buy snacks, and when he walked out, he saw the argument, ran over, and pushed Draka to the ground. Draka then takes out a gun and shoots McLaughlin. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. A young girl is now fighting for her life after a mass shooting in Toronto. A gunman opened fire last night outside of a restaurant. More than a dozen people were shot and 1 woman killed. When officers arrived, there was an exchange of gunfire. The apparent gunman is also dead. Police are still trying to sort out the details of what happened and what the motive was behind that shooting. Los Angeles police are still piecing together the trail of chaos that ended with a gunman holding dozens of hostages inside a Trader Joe's grocery store. Police say Gene Atkins was on the run after he shot his 76-year-old grandmother and girlfriend at their home on Saturday. He then led police on a chase that ended at Trader Joe's. There, Atkins got into a gun battle with police and a store manager was killed. Investigators are still unsure if she was caught in the crossfire or if Atkins shot her. After 3 tense hours, Atkins walked out and surrendered. He's being held on a $2 million bond. Let's send it back to Adam with the latest on a Deepwater Horizon oil spill settlement. Adam?
Thank you, Jacqueline. 8 years after the BP oil spill, checks to help our state recover are still being written. Triumph Gulf Coast has given preliminary approval for about $64 million in grants to the state's aviation industry. Most of that money is going to repair and maintenance at Pensacola International Airport. Triumph is the group appointed by the state attorney general to oversee disbursement of about $2 billion in settlement money from British Petroleum. It's been 1 year since the world's oldest known living manatee died tragically in his tank. Snooty the manatee drowning at the South Florida Museum in Bradenton after getting stuck in a 30-inch plumbing access tunnel. We had a chance to speak to staff today about how the museum honors his legacy with their manatee rehabilitation program.
The manatee rehab program here at the museum is Snooty's legacy. Snooty was an absolutely unique animal. He was a unique fellow all the way around. So the manatee rehab program is his legacy. And for the way that we honor him every day, we do that moving into the future.
Today, Snooty would have been 70 years old. Before he died, he was added to the Guinness World Record book for being the oldest known manatee at the age of 69. Still to come here on ABC 7's News at 4, a recall alert on a favorite household snack, plus identifying a dog's breed with the push of a button. We'll tell you about the app inspired by a 6-year-old.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC7 wherever you are on our live stream on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a right-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small. So Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Today, 20 new recruits began their training as Manatee County School Guardians. However, these new recruits aren't exactly rookies. On this first day of training, the 20 Guardians received their guns, then went to the shooting range. The district says it only has 3.5 weeks to train this first group of 20, but the Director of Safety and Security for the district tells us he's confident they'll be ready because 80% of those Guardians are retired from law enforcement or military. The state requires these Guardians to undergo 144 hours of training. That includes 80 hours of firearms instruction, 8 hours of active shooter education, and 12 hours of a diversity training program. Another group of 20 Guardians will start training as soon as this group finishes on August 20th. Now let's send it to Jacqueline in the newsroom for a look at some of the stories that are trending right now. Jacqueline?
Adam, it's a video that has the internet swooning. A dentist joining in on a challenge on social media that got him nearly 21 new patients in just one day. Now, this South Carolina dentist is dancing to Drake's song In My Feelings. Dr. Rich Constantine posted the video on his dental practice's Facebook page and has had 40 million views in just 4 days. And with the 150,000 comments, people are now responding with excuses of why they need to go to the dentist and see him. Well, it sounds like a bad joke or maybe an urban legend, but a man in Virginia Beach found a live snake in his toilet. The man grabbed a fishing pole and before long had this animal on the end of the line. After taking a few pictures with the guys, he posted it on Facebook. Now it turns out the owner saw a post on Facebook and recognized that their pet snake that had gone missing 2 weeks ago had been found. So a happy ending for everyone involved. Well, here's something that is sure to make you smile on this Monday. Take a look at this video being shared online by the Anna Maria Island Chamber of Commerce. You can see dozens of sea turtle hatchlings all making their way towards the water. The chamber added that moments like this that wouldn't be possible without residents remembering to turn their lights off as a part of their ongoing Lights Out AMI movement to help sea turtles breeding on Suncoast beaches. What an awesome sight for those sea turtles to head back into the water. Well, let's send it back to Adam in the studio for a common snack that might be in your pantries that is being recalled. Adam?
That's right, Jacqueline. Mondelez, the maker of Ritz cracker, is recalling 16 varieties of Ritz crackers and Ritz Bits because they could contain salmonella. The New Jersey company says the crackers with cheese contain a whey powder that has been recalled due to potential salmonella. Luckily, so far, no one has become sick. Well, can you guess a dog's breed just by looking at its fur or facial features? Well, now an app can identify a dog's breed with just the snap of a photo. It's called Dogxam. And in seconds, it can identify the breed by recognizing facial features and furs. It was inspired, however, by a curious 6-year-old girl who was always pestering her dad with questions about dogs that she saw. The app is free, and it could be a good tool the next time you go to an animal shelter looking for your new best friend. Well, now let's take it over to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with another First Alert weather forecast. Bob?
That's a cool looking app right there. Casey Key webcam showing the big story right now, rip currents. Rip currents have been dangerous. We talked about it Friday and how they were going to be dangerous all weekend long as a result of the west wind and southwest wind. It just piles the water up along the area beaches. That water has to get out, and it creates a little channel, a fast-moving channel, I might add, to kind of work its way around from getting pounded into the coast. And then that channel is called the rip current, and that's where people get stuck. And eventually, some folks do die as a result of that. In fact, we lead the nation in rip current deaths here in Florida. Dangerous rip currents will continue again on Tuesday as a result of west to southwest wind. More late night and early morning storms. Now we have this energy in the atmosphere kind of rotating around a big area of low pressure over the southeast. This upper level low is going to eventually move out by Wednesday. But until then, expect these showers and storms at almost any time during the day, and they will be periodic. They're not going to be an all-day rain. We'll see some heavy weather, and then things will be relatively calm like we're seeing now. We had the big storms as a result of the outflow boundary created by the intense cells to the north of us yesterday afternoon. That in turn created an intense line, an outflow boundary, which came down in our area right around 4 to 5 a.m., causing all sorts of havoc in Manatee County. Actually, not much going on right now with some bigger storms to the north, but we'll keep an eye on those for you. What we're looking for, though, is some showers to pop up here in the eastern Gulf of Mexico and then kind of work their way off toward the east. Right now, the heaviest weather by far is off of Cedar Key and near Inverness, pushing off to the east. And on the east coast, some big storms as well near Melbourne and south thereof. You can see that activity to the north near Titusville, I should say, and also near the Cape. Nothing going on here. All is quiet on the radar screen. As I said, should stay that way for the next few hours. There are indications, though, some models suggesting something popping up at 7. I think it'll be a little bit later. Not a lot of rainfall with those storms, but boy, a lot of lightning and intense wind as a result of this low pressure system, which is really unusual. Typically, you don't get a low like this far south during this month and during this summer, really. This is more of a winter scenario set up with a big trough in the east and a big ridge in the west. Well, the Futurecast is showing showers and storms popping up here and there, beginning, say, after 8, 9 o'clock tonight, and then pushing on shore. Some of those storms could be strong, could produce some lightning, and then there's a chance we could see some early morning showers as well. Not a lot, but there will be some around there. There's some energy still out there in the Gulf, and this will also rotate around. It'll be hit or miss. Some areas may not get the heavy weather, kind of like we saw this morning across parts of the Suncoast. But we're going to stay with this west wind, too. This west wind means the possibility of morning showers, late afternoon showers inland, and then back to the coast late in the day, and that'll happen on Wednesday more so. This low eventually tracks out of here, and we get back to a more normal pattern, still with a west wind, though, on Wednesday and Thursday. I think by this weekend, though, we're going to get those typical afternoon and evening storms where we'll see them develop into central Florida and move back toward the coast. Those are our normal summer thunderstorms. 91 in Sarasota right now, a temperature of 86 in downtown Sarasota, Gulf water temperature at 88. It's 89 in Mayaca City and 90 now in Arcadia. Well, let's get to the forecast for boaters tomorrow. Rip currents continuing, scattered storms possible. Southwest winds at 5 to 10 knots, and then seas 2 to 3 feet with a moderate chop on the bays and inland waters. Well, here's the forecast. Overnight storms, or early late night and early morning storms possible. 60% chance for scattered storms on Tuesday. 50% on Wednesday, and then we'll get back to the afternoon and evening variety of storms right through the weekend. There'll be no upper level low spinning around, but there'll be afternoon and evening thunderstorms moving through both on Saturday and Sunday of next weekend. And we'll get that east wind too a little bit more, and that'll help out with that red tide. Well, you want to find out about the radar and interactive radar, you can go to our webpage. Again, just go to mysuncoast.com, click on the weather section, and down below, you'll see the forecast, the warnings and advisories there, a little summary by Wendy, John, or I, kind of telling you what's going to be happening with our weather over the upcoming days. And from the interactive radar right there that you see, nothing going on. That's a live look, I believe, right over our coast, and nothing happening immediately at our coast, thankfully, because it was a rough night for me. I know that last night.
Yeah, Bob, we've talked all day about those heavy storms that moved through our area this morning, and with those storms came some lightning as well. Check out this video sent in by one ABC7 viewer. That storm did knock out power at nearly 800 homes this morning up in Manatee County.
I know our neighbors lost power in Manatee County, northwest Braden there, and the lightning flashes that you see there were constant. Those were cloud to cloud. About 90% of lightning that occurs goes from one cloud to another cloud. Only 10% goes from cloud to ground, and of that 10%, only about 10 to 20% of those are the positive strikes, which are really intense lightning strikes, which usually knock the power out to a lot of places.
Well, now we're going to go overseas. Japan feeling the heat. The country is experiencing its highest temperature on record today with a reading of 105.98 degrees Fahrenheit near Tokyo. Scorching temperatures across Japan have killed dozens of people this month. At least 44 people have died since July 9th, with 11 on Saturday alone. But an analyst says the death toll is most likely in the hundreds.
And people in Japan are concerned that Tokyo is usually the warmest in August, and that deadly heat wave may get worse. The Japan Meteorological Agency says that potential for heat illness is higher than usual, and that people should obviously drink a lot of water and stay away from the direct sunlight. Another add note there is that in England, they're having one of their hottest summers on record as well.
All right, everybody feeling the heat this summer. And coming up here on your News at 4, summertime also means more kids out of school and in the pool, raising the risk of drowning. We'll tell you about a new invention about to hit the market that may help save lives.
I'm Joey Panic of Suncoast View. Coming up Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., it is summer on the Suncoast, and staying safe in the water is a top concern. The YMCA has some life-saving water safety tips. Then we'll have a Sarasota artist taking her original paintings and turning them into athleisure wear. We have a fine art fashion show. Plus, students from the Sarasota Cuban Ballet School and the Scout Guide joins us in the kitchen. That's coming up Tuesday at 9 a.m.
How do you open tough jar lids? Do you try this one? Or this one? Or how about this one?
Honey?
This is the future. Shouldn't there be a robot for this by now? There is. Introducing RoboTwist, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids. Just set it down, press the button, and watch it work. First, the RoboStrong vise locks down tight. Then the powerful twisting action unscrews the lid. RoboTwist is yours for the special introductory price of just $19.99. That's right, the robotic jar opener that easily twists off even the toughest lids, all for just $19.99. Whether the jar is big or small, RoboTwist can open them all. Supplies are limited, so don't delay. Here's how to get yours today.
Call 1-800-347-1073. That's 1-800-347-1073, or order online at buyrobotwist.com.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live. I live. She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
The summer is synonymous with pool time, and according to the USA Swimming Foundation, Florida leads the nation in child fatal drownings in 2017 with 51. A father in Arizona, though, may have a device that can bring those numbers down. He created a drone called Morningstar, which acts as an extra set of eyes.
Sits in the middle of your pool, floats around. It's got dual camera, top and bottom camera, that rotate 360 degrees. It's a two-piece device, app, software, and hardware. It has motion detection, facial recognition.
As he mentioned, that one camera sits on top, another camera sits underwater and alerts you by sound and live video when someone has gone into the water. From there, you can push emergency contact and dispatch services to Morningstar if necessary. He hopes to have that device on the market by the end of this year. And we're just getting started tonight. Jacqueline is in the newsroom with a quick look at just some of the stories we are working on later tonight. Jacqueline.
Adam, 2 new hospitals are coming to Venice, but Sarasota County has to make a few adjustments before building can begin. Coming up at 5, we'll hear why people are upset with the changes that are coming to that area. And at 6, the deadly shooting in Florida that's putting a spotlight on the Stand Your Ground law. Let's send it back to Bob for a look at our final forecast.
Thanks, Jacqueline. And for your beach walk tonight, look for some clouds around, and it looks like it'll be a bit breezy. Winds out of the southwest at 10 miles an hour. And it looks to be pretty good as far as the water in north of Venice, but south there of the red tide still an issue. Sunset will be at 8:24, and we're looking at some clouds and maybe an isolated shower, but I think by the time sunset rolls around, there could be some development in the Gulf of Mexico. It's 91 right now. We still have some high clouds moving in and out. The feels-like temperature at 95 degrees. That's the heat index. You combine the relative humidity, which isn't all that high now at 47% due to an east wind at the airport. The pressure 29.83 inches, and that is pretty low. And low pressure is the big story right now. We're going to talk more about this coming up at 5 and how it will affect our weather over the upcoming 48 hours. Adam?
All right, thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us on ABC 7 News at 4, and we'll see you back here at 5 o'clock.